Hello, in this video I would love to talk to you about something that really drives me up the wall, and that is when people tell me I don't look autistic or seem like I've got ADHD. I was diagnosed autistic and ADHD in my mid-40s, and one of the most common things that people say to me is, you don't look autistic. And I know that they don't mean that to be offensive, but it really is for me, because having spent most of my life covering up who I really was, doing everything I could to fit in, to belong, to not be found out, when I finally had the answers to why I'd experienced my life the way that I had and the difficulties that I had, it was really important to me to be able to share that with others that were within my world, within my environment. So to be met with comments like, you don't look autistic or seem like you've got ADHD, felt like I was being rejected for who I truly am, and that was incredibly invalidating and crushing initially, to the point that I then stopped sharing my diagnosis with people. I've discussed how I now go about sharing a diagnosis in another video, so I won't repeat myself here, but what I do want to cover is this whole element of not looking autistic or not seeming like you've got ADHD. And what I now say to people is that my autism and ADHD has nothing to do with how other people experience me, and everything to do with my own experiences. So I go to a great deal of effort, or previously I've gone to a great deal of effort, to try and blend in and behave in ways that other people feel are acceptable, to not raise any attention to the fact that actually I process things really differently and my experiences are very different. But what people don't see is the absolute immense effort that I have to put in to living my life in that way. And it resulted in a corporate burnout at the age of 36. I graduated with a law degree in 2000, went on to have a successful legal management career. And at the point of burnout at 36, what had happened was I was able to survive in a corporate world, albeit driving home in floods of tears with chronic insomnia and multiple health issues. But how I managed to cope with that for so long was by cutting back on the other areas of my life that I was spending my time and energy and focus. So at the point of that burnout, I had no social life, no friendships, barely could interact with my own family members, stopped responding to text messages, emails. I became only capable of getting myself to work, functioning at work and getting home again. The evenings would be a wipeout, weekends a wipeout. And that's the part that nobody sees. And there's many people that have known me for a very long time, some since I was maybe at school, that will still say you don't look autistic or seem like you've got ADHD. But I am 48 years old, I've never been married, I don't have children, I don't really have any great friendships. I have a trail of failed relationships behind me. And the amount of heartbreak, heartache, pain, energy that has gone into trying to lead a life that feels fulfilling in multiple areas has been almost impossible for me, because I've had to put my energy, or felt that I had to put my energy, into showing up in society in a way that was acceptable, that was expected. And I was born in the 70s, and so when I went through school, it was very much about choosing your career path, finding your sort of way forward in life. I went to university, I had a very classic career, and to the outward eye, I was successful by societal standards. The job, the car, the house, and people's perceptions of me was very different to my lived reality. And I always felt really misunderstood, and when people would make assumptions about me, it feel really heartbreaking, because I was always confused about the fact that that wasn't me. What they were describing wasn't me, not the real me. And then having that realisation that that was their experience and perception of me because of how I was outwardly interacting and behaving. And so having an autism and ADHD diagnosis in my mid-40s, for me, felt like the biggest gift, because I could see my life experiences through a completely new lens. It gave me almost instant self-compassion and forgiveness. it really helped me to release a lot of shame that I'd had around various experiences in my life. And it gave me hope about being able to really understand myself so that I could move forward and live a life that felt aligned for me and felt successful on my terms, because I realised that my version of success is not the societal standard of success. You know, money, high-powered career, car, those aren't the things that bring me joy and make me feel calm, safe and happy. But being able to feel aligned to who I am, to what's important to me, my values, to have a much wider purpose, that's what success feels like for me. So going out into the world and navigating it as an autistic and ADHD woman is exciting, but it's also terrifying, because I'm still dealing with so many people that tell me I don't look autistic, tell me that I don't seem like I have ADHD. And I think with my ADHD, because much of that hyperactivity is internal, you know, the difficulty in shutting my brain down or knowing what to focus on or how to focus, the sensory processing and overwhelm, you don't see those things on a day-to-day basis. They're things I have to manage in order to function in the world. So the next time that you meet somebody that might be autistic or ADHD, I'd really invite you to think about getting curious and finding out what their world is like and what their life is like, and maybe how you can support them or connect on a different level, because that's certainly what I want. I want people to understand me, the real me, and I want to be able to forge connections in a really authentic way. And it's not about everybody understanding me and bending to me. That's not what I'm saying. And when I talk about creating understanding and acceptance, it's all on a mutual basis. You know, if we can accept each other for who we are and how we are, without judgment and without the need to try and make somebody change, I think that's where we have the opportunity to create a much more inclusive society. And I listened to Chris Packham talk the other day. So Chris Packham is autistic, and he did an incredible series on the BBC called Inside Our Autistic Minds. And he was talking about diversity within species and saying, you know, this isn't new. Autism, ADHD, other neurodivergences, they're not new. Every species has varying diversity within it, which is needed for survival. You know, if things change very quickly, we need certain members of that society to be able to adapt and go with the change, and that's how we all grow and learn. And I really thought that was a beautiful way of describing it. And you know, he was talking about thinking outside the box and saying he doesn't see a box. It's just that we all have different diverse brains and ways of experiencing things in the world. I hope you found this interesting. If you're someone that's autistic or ADHD and you've experienced the same kind of thing as me, like, you know, you don't look autistic, you don't seem like you've got ADHD, like, I'd really love to hear from you, because I think having these sort of open conversations and sharing real life experiences where we have the opportunity to get rid of stereotypes, to remove the stigmas, and to create a new level of acceptance of what being neurodiverse, so everybody in our society, means, and how we all get to work together and appreciate each other. Feel free to put a comment after the video, or you can reach out on socials or send me an email at hello@autisticjoyologist.co.uk. Let's keep talking about different elements of neurodiversity and being neurodivergent, and I really look forward to seeing you soon.